Is it live? Can you hear me? Hello? Am I coming in clear? Hello? I feel like it's really quiet. Is it really quiet? There is sound, but it doesn't go up very much. Hold on. What's that? Hey. I'm hopping on chat for no absolute reason. I was just bored. It's funny that anybody showed up. In that case, I'll take requests. What do you want me to do? I don't know if I'll do anything. Does that milk thing pop up automatically for you when you write milk on your device, or do you have to go out of your way and find it as a sticker? If you're here. Okay. Well, now you got yourself into a situation where now I have a customer, so now I need to appease the customer. Actually, I do have something to show. Okay. That's it. Middle of a class. Are you teaching the class? Or are you learning in the class? Yeah, I don't know how old it is. I mean, I want to say somebody I know made this in wood shop. I'm not 100% sure, but it's at least 25 years old probably. Okay. I kind of wish I could take a class on something. I just want to engage my mind again formally. I saw like a CPR class or something. I don't know if I have enough like wherewithal to go to it, but it was local and it's this Saturday. I'm like, just to do something. I'm almost getting to the point where I just want to go just to do something, extracurricular, I guess. Is my audio coming through faint? Because I feel like the bars could be higher. My eye keeps twitching. This one has been twitching for like a week. Yes, the design might be that old, but the actual toy, I'm pretty sure when I got it, somebody made it. So it was probably, I'm guessing 25 years old. Okay. I feel like I should show and tell. Yeah, well, this one is probably wood shop. I would say junior high. Let me find another artifact to show off. Oh, this is a good one. Tell me when you leave. This is my journal box. Okay. I made this. This was a branch. This was a twig that fell in the yard. This was piano parts. This is oak that I cut down from a piece of oak I pulled out of the scrap hopper at work and then like sliced it down and planed it. These are just store-bought oaks, I think. This is the live edge of the twig. These was the center leaf of a table I used to hide under as a kid. And they smell good. When you cut them fresh, they smell almost like cinnamon. Yeah, it's all kind of repurposed. The hinges were just store-bought. I couldn't find a lock to fit this yet because it's a really small hole. But it gets a little bit neater. This clipboard slides out of it. And I used to hang this on the steering wheel of my Buick. And then this clever, weird-looking hole would hold a smartphone. Now, I am a flip phone guy through and through, but I got this is what I call my poetry phone. And you can put this through there, and then I would hang this on my Buick steering wheel, and then I used a Bluetooth keyboard, and I made kind of a riding retreat out of my car. But now it doesn't really fit the steering wheel of my current car, so I either got to repurpose or maybe just bend these out a little bit. I'm not sure. But I was kind of excited. Originally, I bought this for work, or I built this to take to work, but now I'm using it at home. And I have 3 different journals in here for 3 different purposes. I won't get into the purposes. And then I want to do more show and tell, because that's probably the best thing I can do is show and tell. Let me find something of interest. Or anybody can feel free to ask about something. I don't have everything I own in this room. They call this a thumb piano, if I'm correct. Can it show? Not really. Yeah. I think I wrote back and said something to the effect of, if you find out what fragrance that is, ship me a bottle to my P.O. box and I will PayPal you the money. But I feel like I think I'm joking when I say this, but I'm partially serious, that I can tell if the rubber's from China, USA, and sometimes Vietnam. China rubber has like a stenchier aroma to it, like when you go to Harbor Freight or some bike shops, and you can smell like it's almost got I almost want to say oilier stench to it. And American rubber seems to have more of a polymer, just a more pure rubber smell. Yeah, it's probably something in there. And I feel like the China rubber is also oilier to the touch. Like it almost has a waxier touch to it on occasions. But I always been big on smelling things. Like if Christmas morning, you get something new, you sniff it. Electronics, especially, you sniff it. Sometimes it's the packaging, and sometimes you'll create a sense tie to memory where you can actually, if it's something you don't smell very often, you can actually sniff it and be like, oh, I remember this, and it puts you somewhere. And I have a couple theories on why smell is the strongest sense tie to memory. I think and this one's partially said in jest, but your nose is one of the closest things to your brain, so it just goes right in. But that's kind of a joke. I think the real reason smell is such a sense tie to memory is that you're not bombarded with smells every day, and a lot of them are seasonal. You might see stuff online or you might see stuff in person. There's a lot of visual and there's a lot of audio stimulation, but smells are a little more nuanced, and I feel like you don't get them all the time. Like you see, I guess that I guess I already explained it, but I'm going to go on. A smell, especially if it's once a year, it puts you in a specific place. But you might see grass from a car window. You might see grass, somebody mowing lawn on TV. You might see grass on the road because they let it blow on the road. But you have to be there closer to smell it. So I think smell is more intimate, I guess you could say too. Maybe so. I like to think that I was a flower in a past life because sometimes I feel like I look back on that and I'm like, yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Let me find one more thing. Maybe two. You know, I'm running low on props. Yeah. I'm running low on props. So, Judy, if you're still here, what time do you have to go back to class? And don't give me that mountain time. Just give me that, how many minutes? Yeah. Around here, they have hog farms, and there's a delay from the time it gets into your, okay, there's a delay the time it gets into your nose. And sometimes I try to like take a deep breath. And sometimes I'll roll the windows down just to get it already cycling, even though it comes in quicker. My theory is that it leaves faster too. So I will actually just go, then drive past the hog farm. And sometimes I can hold my breath long enough to alleviate most of the stench. There's some parts of the cows, not parts of the cows, but sometimes I smell a cow. I drive by cows sometimes, and I like the smell because it's earthy or like, and sometimes it's too much. And around here, they fertilize the fields with all kinds of things, and sometimes it really reeks. But I'm out here in Northwest Ohio, so there's a lot of livestock and like there's a lot of cattle and a lot of I guess there's goats. My neighbor has goats out at the ranch. But I feel a little bit juxtaposed. I feel like, do they really paper mills smell bad? I feel very like, I remember asking a friend like 5 or 10 years ago. I'm like, am I a country boy? Am I a city slicker? What am I? And they said, you're just like a small town boy. I'm like, oh, okay. But I've been getting a calling. I feel like I'm getting called to a slightly bigger city. I don't know what that means, but I feel like I need some experience of like to round me out, if that makes sense. So like I don't identify with the cornfields, but I don't identify with the city streets. I feel like I'm somewhere in between. Boiled cabbage sounds like something I would like to eat. Did you ever have kimchi? It's like usually it's cabbage, but I guess it can be almost any vegetable. I had some kimchi once that was basically just cucumbers with some kind of glaze on it, and it was really good. Well, yeah, if the cabbage is rotten, I'm not gonna bother boiling it. I just made did you ever eat at Skyline Chili? Skyline Chili is a Cincinnati chili. I just made some at home, and it was pretty close. It was pretty decent. Had a big plate of it. I like kimchi. I've had some better than others, but the last batch I had was more sweet than it was spicy, but I like them both. I like them sweet and spicy. And I took a friend I used to work with, I took him to Indian food, yesterday? No, the day before yesterday, because his wife will never go because she doesn't like the food, and I said, "Dude, I'll take you sometime." And I took him out there, and I paid for his meal, I sneaked it in, but, he really liked it, and it's really good. I had chicken tikka masala. I think he had butter chicken. We had rice and naan bread, it was really good. Mm, mm. I don't know what I'm gonna do. When you head off of here, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to entertain the ghosts. Yeah, I wanted to do it, and I partially wanted to do it for the story, because like I'm like that'd be really cool, and he said yes. So I'm like, let's make it happen someday. And I think the day that we went, which is 2 days ago, I think he basically said he said something like he just needed to get out of the house. He has to temporarily house a bunch of people for his family. And I think he just wanted some space. I'm like, yeah, come with me, dude. And we first drove to yeah, we first drove to the place I wanted to go because they have really good side salads too, and it was closed. Well, it had a 4 hour. It was Martin Luther King Day, so was it actually Monday then? And we ended up uh, we ended up going there and being like, oh wow, they're not open for another 4 hours. So we went to another nearby town because I know we have two different locations and they're both really good food. So it was a really big success. Yeah, it was Monday then. I thought it was 2 days ago, but if today's Thursday, then 2 days ago would have been Tuesday. The days kind of, you know how the days go. They're sneaky little slippery critters sometimes. So I can't barely keep track of them anymore. I'd be like, I think it was a day ago, and it was like a week ago. But it did fly by. I guess it's not fully done, but it's almost whooped. If you're like me, you still I consider Saturday. I'm like a purist. Like Saturday is still this week, and then Sunday is the beginning of next week. But the time is tricky. I know everybody knows that already. I already know that. But time is slimy. Time is not time is piggly wiggly. It's not exactly linear. It's kind of like it folds on itself. And depending on how much you're enjoying yourself, it changes off of that. It changes off of the seasons almost. It changes off your mood. I think growing up, I just thought time was very like it looked like a timeline where there's notch, 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 and it goes like this. And some days it kind of does, I think, but not typically. I think another thing that's nice is to get comfortable with like what if I just don't talk? I can do that. It'll be the ghost keeping me up tonight, but normally I'm a little noisier than them. I appreciate you stopping by. It made it very enjoyable, Judy. Um, Go fill your brain without letting it burst, okay? If you want it to burst, you talk to me. I'll fill it up. All right. Much love. See you later. Hey, Jackie. Now I can entertain you for a little bit if you would like. I just literally hopped on live almost for no apparent reason. And I'm just like, I'll just see what's up. And maybe I came up with a topic to expound upon and I didn't. Luckily, Judy was in the chat. So I just chatted with her for a while and did some show and tell. I don't know if you were stopping in or if you just got here. But if you have any questions, how's it going? I will definitely, within my ability and knowledge and grace, I will be able to answer. Um, luckily I can say and do whatever because I didn't put any promises in the title. I just put streaming for no reason. Oh, no problem. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. See ya. It would be interesting to know if there's enough people just swinging by to keep me going, because like I really had nothing planned. I think I could do a poetry reading. I could do something. Hold on. Some of this could be regurgitated. Like some of this could be reruns if anybody actually reads stuff that's already there. Ooh, here's a good one. Well, here's one that's on oh yeah. You can if you want. I don't know what I have to offer for live yet, but it might come as time comes. Here's a fresh written. I'm not going to make you guys read it. I'm just going to read it, but are they? I know sometimes they are non-reliable, but I have a lot of people I follow now, a lot of small-time YouTubers, and I just go in and manually check when I'm bored. I don't rely on the thing. I just get lucky, but lately I have had a lot of time to sit and do that. I think if I had more happening in the 3D out here, I think I would ring a couple more bells, let a couple more bells ring. So this poem is called Icebergs, and I've written it the 29th of last month. We all tell the same story, but in different ways. The wrong reds, darker greens, but similar grays. I am unable to prove what's in my own head, though I have many words and plan to collect more. All I ever may give is merely a fragment, a symbol, an abstraction. But now that is all I hope for, that you can sustain on scraps. Aren't we all just icebergs after all, waiting for someone to magically see us in entirety without freezing under the water? Or maybe some of us just want to sink a ship, get their name in the paper. I care less now about memorials or even legacy. I long to be experienced, and I wish to experience you too, in whatever entirety you can offer. Let's be right here, right now, for as long as we can. I don't mind that one right now. These are personal letters, I think, and abstractions. Okay. This one's a little bit sad. This is called Ghosts of Him. Ghosts of Him. I woke again, alone in bed. Who made this thing so wide? I turned my head away from the emptiness inside. Should I donate the piano, for it only gathers dust, or the old charcoal grill that will soon be only rust? A table set for two, with candles lit and placed, and the records stay on shelves, rare if ever to be played. But the day again is new, and the night is only young, but the coffee pot is steaming as the fridge begins to hum. But I see him in the kitchen, and I spot him on the stairs, and I talk to him in dreams just to wake with him not there. And I know I should be grateful for the love I felt within, but it's hard when I encounter all these daily ghosts of him. One is standing in the driveway, one is mowing in the yard, one is always in my eyesight, one is washing the old car. They say the medicine should help me. Under many pills I numb, but one day every year, when I hide it under tongue, then I spit it in the bin, and to our spot I race, where I get to soothe my longing and kiss his absent face. I like typing these out with a typewriter. I like not having to refer to this electric device to do it. Okay. Oh, good. Do you want to go sadder? How sad do you want to go? I took that as like a challenge. Like that ain't too sad. Like when food is really spicy and somebody's like, that ain't spicy, let me have it. That one's probably like sadder for me for particular reasons. But yeah, Murder She Wrote. Angela Lansbury. I think was it my grandma who used to watch the heck out of that? I think it was my grandma who used to watch the heck out of that. NATO, what's up? I'm doing good so far. I just hopped on a chat randomly, and I'm actually getting enough people to make it feel sustained. I think I'm gonna do some more poetry reading. Um, I'm trying to think if I want to do more. Catch you in the kitchen, find you. Hmm. All right, let's do another poem here. Actually, I want to do the ocean and you. This one's pretty fresh. And I already had it in my section, but I want to read it now. It's called The Ocean and You. How does the ocean remember you? It's always roaring and overflowing, cycling. Relentless, its daily renew, washed every hour, every minute. How could the ocean remember you? Or anyone at all, with trenches so deep and waves so tall? But it does know you. I see joy on its face. It runs back to you like a dog with a twig, panting. I don't understand how it remembers you, but it does. So to me, that represents something really big and significant that everybody shares, but it's still holding space for the individual. So it's still somehow it remembers every individual, which tangent, but it kind of reminds me of those teachers who like remembered all the kids' names, even though there's like a sea of kids. So that's called The Ocean in You. What kind of poems do you want now? Because I got plenty. I think because Jackie, it reminds you of Feel the Ocean in the Drop. Is that something I should check out? Is that a poem? Is that a movie? Is that a show? Or is it a saying? Feel the forest in the seed. I heard something today where somebody said that they tried to bury you, but it ends up they planted you. I thought that's kind of cool. Like you thought you were buried under all this dirt. People were throwing dirt on you, but it ends up you were seed, so you just rooted out and sprouted, you know? Let's just like randomly find one. This is barely even a poem. This has just popped up. It's called Wind on Slate. It's a small window, but it still lets light in. The basement is deep water, Poseidon. I thought I heard you mumble you loved me, but it was late. Maybe it was just the sound of wind howling on slate. Just like a quaint. Yeah, that's true. If you want to reach heaven, your roots have to reach hell. It's one of those things that sounds corny, but it's true. If you've been to that depth, you have roots, and now you can reach higher and be stable. If you never penetrated the soil, you just try to reach, the first wind gust is going to topple you over. All right, this one's quick too. It's called Strays. Ermelia feeds the Let's try again. Ermelia feeds the friendly feral. She slides the bowl closer to the house, right under the swing, inadvertently rubbing the scratch from her own. The wound so stings. She is still lamenting on how the last batch was narrowly ruined by rain. It was still eaten. A stray rarely complains. So I'm not going to make a habit of always explaining my poems, but this one is about feeding stray cats. And when you go out and you see the food is sopping wet with rain, but the cat still eats it. It's about, what's the opposite of abundance? Scarcity. All right, let's do something popping. This poem, excuse me, this poem holds significance for me because I wrote it before I went to New England on my solo trip. And then I read it now and it resonates even more. So it's called New England. Thoughts on and glossy. Avenues I could get lost on. Ones that might cost me. I need a new room with a thick hook to hang my coat. Someplace to live small and all alone. Maybe with a cannery and an awkward coast. Morning walks and evening toast. Somewhere with compassion and passing boats. Just when you're kind of daydreaming about another place and you put it to words. I think if I do more poetry readings, are you saying you're like getting vision, like you're immersed, or that you're getting visions? I'll try to find a more painted one. I'm going to change the lighting for this one. If it works. It's grainy, but it is dimmer. This one, okay, let's do this one. It's called Wrought Iron. I came into the city. I was searching for your place. There was trash all in the alley, iron pickets on the gate. I was walking through unseen. I was given little grace, just hoping that the crows don't remember my face. It was soaking in the gutters. It was draining to the park. It was carved between the wood grain and was open after dark. It was all I ever wanted, but it didn't feel right. I can never trust a rose that only grows upon the night. I'll turn the light back on. Thank you. If I end up doing more poetry readings, hope I didn't already say this. I'm gonna just repeat some that I like, and not everybody's here for everyone. So there'll be like some repeats that people can't tell are repeats. Plus, I need to expose myself to being okay with repeating a story. I always feel so self-conscious that, oops, I said this already. Oh well. This next one's called Protective Poison. I wrote this like on the spot and then decided, ooh, I like to keep that. Spiritual being, a mirror which is feeling. They're talking this or that. Maybe don the witch's hat. Speak volumes pouring vibrant spells. Break out of forming private hells. Pour salt around the bedroom floor. Explore the scabs of ancient sores. You've fed the plants. You've heard the noises. You've always wore protective poison. You know what would also be fun? It'd be fun to read short stories on something like this, except for people who just tuned in, you wouldn't get the whole thing. I'm gonna try to do a softer. I'm gonna try to read this differently. So bear with me. I'm new to this. This is called Rotting Straw. There's a wind outside, light dust in a hay rake, leaning against the shed, a song in her head, a mistake in her past. She walks now along the fence in the field, tough stems underfoot. Only some under her weight yield, fragments of what went wrong, something gone rotten. Within the thin slice of air, between perfume and a love song, not forgotten. And scene. There is, I should do a little bit more dwell in between my poems. That's a really cool thing you bring up because I'm interested in how people could do that. I've tried it before, and for me, it always felt forced, but I know some people that's their go-to. I write songs too, and mine, it almost has to be married with the melody as it's being created. Otherwise, it feels, but I don't think it would come across in the finished product. I think it's from me being the author of it. I think it feels like I think other people can tell you just took that off a page, but it doesn't even matter at the end of the day. But there's some lyrics I tried to turn into a song and I couldn't do it satisfactorily. And I'll read you that if you don't mind. I have to search it though. Okay. I'm not going to sing it. I'm going to try to, I'm going to say, this is a poem that I wanted to make a song after I made it and didn't feel like I knew how to do it. Roots. It's called Roots. Roots still ooze paint. The colors spiral. Dirt tells a story, much older than the Bible. Your book is incomplete. Plot twists like a vine. The theme is dark, yet brighter in your mind. A knot of pink worms. Squirm to stay sane. Please shed some light. Open minds collect rain. Pull the plug to drain. Get us out alive. Leave Tuesday's pain for a Wednesday's mourner. 8 legs span the earth. You're in Charlotte's corner. Eyes try to open wider. A lucid dream. Tune the web like a spider. Pitch of a scream. That was 2015. Oh no. That was 11 years ago? Well, I forget that I updated it. That was the original version. There's an updated version that I just didn't find right away. But that's kind of like, you know how sometimes you hit something and you're like, that was 10 years ago, that ain't right. That's what that is for me. There's also an exercise I did where I took songs a song structure and then wrote a poem to it, which kind of works well. But how would I find it? In progress, minor fragments. Poetry. Complete. Yeah, time is a tricky creature. Sometimes I'm at peace with it and I'm like, you do you, I'm going to do me. Other times I'm like looking around like, aren't we going to prosecute this thing? Aren't we going to band together and like point the finger and be like, we see you, time, and doing this grimy stuff? This isn't bad. I think this is new. It's called My Season. In my season of miracles, I felt unworthy. Who could make sense of me receiving? It was not I. The voice in my head was always louder than the stars in the sky. We are back on this again. I can see myself clear in the mirror. Even when it's dingy, I told myself I love you. And I think he really meant it. All the places I've been to, all the ways I've vented, like the things I feel, like the wheel I'm I messed up the last part. Like the wheel I'm reinvented. That's decent. I like that one now. Hmm. Hmm. It's neat when you can read back something you did and it resonates harder than when you wrote it. Yeah. You think you think I could ghostwrite for Taylor Swift? I've been in a big like A, don't promote yourself, B, don't make money kick. But that could do both in one fell swoop. So if you have people, have your people talk to my people, and I think, I think if I can make a little bit of money here and there, I'd be better for it. This is really short. The music industry, I feel like, yeah, it does need a lot of help. It has been dirty since who knows when, 50s, 60s, 70s, but it got worse. There's some hope okay, there's hope with physical media coming back. With physical media coming, like there's younger people, and I like physical media now. I'm getting even heavier back into it. I've been buying vinyl. I like my CD collection. That was where most of the money was made, with selling the physical form. And I think that there's some hope for that. And it is sad. But the artistry is not dead. I can assure everyone the people making good music are still out there making good music. So at least there's that. But it is a lot harder to make a life out of it than it used to be 20, 30 years ago. And that's kind of sad. One of your friends in California or Canada, now helping music producers, second time out there for songwriting. Second time out there? Are you saying that you visited? Or am I misinterpreting this second time out there? Yeah. I'd like to see them try. There are certain genres where they can get by with the AI, but the most connected I've ever felt to music is the point of view. Like one of my favorite bands is called Big Thief, and their stuff to me is just so heartfelt that you can't replace it. And excuse me, there's no water in here. Um, I think that there's a lot of people not even people, it's more like corporate, like, there's a big push for AI right now, and there's a lot of, like, commercials I see, and, like, it's not gonna help anybody in the long run. It's basically offering you, "Hey, have something for nothing." So the old model of delayed gratification and putting in work for your reward is getting diminished. Even in my own personal life, I'm feeling some of the damage of that, and I think it's a bubble that's gonna burst. Like, everybody's acting like, "Get on the AI train or you're gonna left behind." Whoever gets left behind on the AI train, we're gonna gather and we're gonna make good art again. And that's my hope and that's my pledge. California now to write and make melodies. Cool. I feel like I feel like I've always struggled with feeling unworthy. Let's say I had a song that I think was good enough for this, that, and a third. I wouldn't take it to those places. But that's a hurdle I think I have to get over. I think it's really cool. I think growing up, I thought anybody who followed their dream was like a sellout or something. I wasn't in a good state of mind. I thought that, like, case in point, I had a really good friend we both skateboarded together and he wanted to make a career out of it. I'm like, no, don't do that. Do it because you want to do it. But then I realized it's really cool when you can make a job out of something you love. I just hope that the people who do that also love a couple other things that they can then keep sacred. And I had like 3 or 4 passions, where I wouldn't mind being like, if I was a writer for my job, I could like do that and then also make music on the side but don't monetize one of my other hobbies, if that makes sense. But that's really cool. Yeah. They can replace a percentage of anything with AI. The problem with me, I don't know if you've seen my other stuff. I'm very against AI, but I've delved into it enough to know about it a little bit more instead of just hating it blindly. And to me, it doesn't actually know anything. It goes off of probability and it goes off of it's like an improv artist. So like there's going to be a point in time where it doesn't make the right decision because it can't make an actual decision, like from a heart space, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Mm. And I think there's more and more people who feel this way. A lot of us are sitting here pointing at it like, that's stupid. But people think people are accepting it because it's popular. It almost reminds me of the radio. There's a lot of good songs I like on the radio, or I used to, but sometimes they like convince you it's a good song because you just hear it a lot. I feel like they're trying to do that with AI. Like, hey, AI is integrating in your life. It's not really, not for me. It's actually causing some mental issues to a degree because I think about it too much. But at the end of the essay, it's going to be shown that it doesn't know anything. It's like going to a plumber to ask about the music business, a plumber who also happens to not know anything about the music business, except AI is not a plumber or a musician. But you know what? My personal favorite use for AI is when you go to those stupid like character things and sometimes they're like spicy or saucy, but they don't have to be. You can kind of make them do whatever you want by like just molding the story. But I've had some fun hopping on the character chat sites where you act like it's almost like you're texting somebody, but there's blue subtext where it'll say how they looked at you and stuff. And you can kind of immerse yourself. It's almost like reading a book, but you're co-creating the story. I had a couple fun times with that. Then I kind of shelved it again for a while because I'm like, I was very concerned with like, I guess, overindulging or something. Yeah, that goes back to even just the when you call and you get a robot answering thing and you're not getting a real person. Now it's like to the extra degree because they're just trying to make no real person be anywhere. You got to have a person in the box to make the decision or to have the heart space decision where it's like, oh, we need to stop doing this, or no, this isn't right. So I hope AI gets kind of nipped in the bud, but I think it's going to get really ugly before it gets better. but I think it is going to get better. How long have I been on? 49 minutes. What time is it? 9:45. I'm probably going to hop off here soon. I appreciate you being in here. I really do. I didn't know what to expect today hopping on. I'm just like, I'll hop on just because it felt right. I'm glad you caught my live too. Maybe I'll do a more formal poetry reading sometime soon and actually put it on a schedule. Not a regular schedule necessarily, but like, hey, you have a day to check this out or a couple hours instead of just hopping on all guerrilla style. Yeah, I had a couple other lives. My first live was also successful because a couple people popped in. I was like, hey, I know you kind of. So that was really rewarding because I expected nothing. I expected to just kind of twiddle my thumbs and be goofy and just test it. Yeah, but see, I couldn't hear spirit for most of my life. I ignored it. I don't know what. I couldn't hear the whisper, and then I got shoved. More on that later. Thanks for stopping in. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Here we go.